helicopters.
Oh, wow, that's pretty prestigious.
And once he got out of the Marines, he didn't follow up on it.
That's exactly what I did. I was drafted, did my time, got out and moved on.
Yeah, that's what he did, which is a shame. I'm going to get the printout. I'll be right back.
Yeah, it must be time.
It's close.
Are we all here?
They have a little business meeting first,
Right,
right?
right.
Yeah.
Well, okay, let's get going and we'll do a little bit of club business ahead of time and then go on into other things. I want to first wish everybody a Happy New Year and hope you had a good holiday season and welcome to the January meeting of the Sterling Heights Computer Club.
And back to you.
Thank you. I saw Mike, our Vice President, online, and Paul Becker, our new secretary, is online. I didn't, Bernie, but maybe he should be coming in shortly, I believe. Well, let's just go to a little bit of roundtable. Who got some really neat stuff for Christmas? Jump right in.
I got actually, I played, oh, what you got there?
Apple Watch.
Ah, okay.
Speaking of which, we had a presenter last year who did a speech on the Apple Watch. Is there any record of her stuff stored on the website anywhere?
Yeah, Sheeta.
Yeah.
You mean like a recording of her,
Or, you know,
any information?
PowerPoint or something. I don't remember. It was a PowerPoint.
Most of hers was live. She was actually had her camera looking at her phone as she was demonstrating everything.
Okay.
I don't think we have anything from her, do we? Slides or anything like that?
I'm looking.
Okay.
This watch does about 4 billion things. The manual alone is 400 pages.
Is it all on the watch?
Actually, it is. You can look at it on the
You can read it on the
watch.
watch. Okay.
In the little tiny print.
Yeah, not with my eyes. Not anymore. Maybe at one time.
It's quite the technical marvel.
No doubt. No doubt. Can you pass it around and let me borrow it for a week and play with it a little bit and see if I like it?
If you give me a $500 security deposit.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
No problem.
Oh, good.
There's different flavors of that watch, isn't there, Phil?
Yeah.
Which one did you get?
This was, it's not the top of the line one. That costs over $1,000. You can get them in,
The 6, I thought, was the latest one.
well, they're all, this is the 6 series, but under the 6, there's a half dozen different ways to configure it, depending on what the case is made of.
Right.
The one I
didn't worry
got
about
has a Nike branding on it, so it has more physical stuff, health workouts and that available than you get on a standard one, which there's still plenty of those.
So to answer your question, no, we didn't get anything from Sheeta.
Okay, I thought so.
But if there's interest, I can contact her and see if she'd be willing to present again.
Well, one person has an Apple Watch, so
Anyone else online have an Apple Watch?
I do.
Okay. Any other members in? Phil, what was the driver to get an Apple Watch? Yeah,
I wanted something for, like I said, for timing workouts and stuff, and measuring your heart rate and all that while you're doing a workout. I can get cheaper ones. I've got This is something I bought for 40 bucks off Amazon, which basically does the same thing, but I like toys.
Yeah.
Okay,
Don't we all?
You came into a stimulus check too. So what the heck?
I haven't gotten that yet, but
Oh,
this-
okay.
We got ours deposited yesterday.
Okay.
no. Even though I filed all my returns online, my last check came in the mail. I don't know why.
Okay.
And then they also sent me a check for my dead wife, which I had to go through a whole lot of crap to get it back to them.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear it. I hear that was a trial in itself.
Yeah.
So you didn't get caught accidentally keeping it.
No, I'm a good boy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take anything that's not mine.
I hear you.
So
Interesting.
anybody get any other things that are interesting?
Oh, I bought myself a solid state drive for this here laptop that I'm using right now, which is 10 years old. I bought it when I was laid off from EDS or HP back when, and I bought it then because it had an enhanced battery and Blu-ray player, recorder, or burner, and some other cool features. It was a Black Friday deal at Staples, and I'm still really glad. But it was just slow. I wasn't using it hardly at all. It was slow. It took over 3 minutes to boot up. Well, I thought, okay, I'll get the solid state drive, and I configured it and cloned it and all that sort of stuff over the weekend. And this doggone thing boots up completely in 25 seconds. I mean, freaking believable. I'm so happy with it. So I'm going to get some more too. Put them in
my
my
wife had a laptop she bought. It was an HP. It was not a cheap one. It was brand new, and it was like yours after 10 years. Only it was brand new, and it took forever to boot up.
Mhm.
So I bought an SSD back then and cloned it and put it in, and it went from, like you said, 5 minutes to 5 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, just unbelievable.
Like putting a turbocharger in a Falcon.
Exactly.
I broke down 25 years. I've been repairing computers for over 30. 25 years since I had a new computer. I always, took hand-me-downs and refurbished them. I broke down and bought myself a new, brand new, directly from HP with every bell and whistle I could come up with. An HP Spectre.
Okay.
It's an awesome laptop. There's hardly any border around the screen. It's all screen.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And of course, everything is solid state. But it's awesome. Beautiful display on it. So,
And it screams, huh?
well, and it screams. It's got a 32 gig SSD, like an enhanced memory, along with 16 gig of RAM, and then a 1 terabyte SSD on top of it. So and it just flies.
What does it use the 32 gig SSD for? Caching?
Yeah, for flashing. There's I can only find the operating system and everything else on the C drive. So evidently it's almost to enhance the RAM. Of course, there's no CD, DVD with it. It's all USB,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
but it just flies.
Those
So
are
you gotta
hybrid
work-
drives.
So you got to put the seatbelt on when you use it, huh?
Not quite, but it does the job. It's not my kid's inheritance.
Why not?
Yeah.
Okay, I got a couple questions. Since we have all the important people on here, I got a couple questions. Got a couple dilemmas. A buddy of mine bought himself, I convinced him that he needs to back up his computer, his Windows computer. And I convinced him that he needs to get an external hard drive. He had one and it crapped out earlier this year. It doesn't work at all. So I said, you got to buy a new one. So he did. He bought a brand new one. And he plugs it into his laptop and it doesn't see it at all. So we checked. He went over to his daughter's house, plugged it in there. It works just fine. Brought it back, plugged it into his and we tested out all the USB ports. Doesn't see it at all. it does see flash drives, and the power comes on to that external hard drive. What am I missing?
Does he have the external hard drive plugged in when he powers up?
No.
So after the computer's all booted, he plugs it in.
Right. And the power light comes on, and you can feel it. There's that slight vibration that you know the disks are turning, but the computer Windows does not see it. I can't find it in Device Manager, can't find it anywhere.
How old a laptop is it?
About 3 or 4 years.
Which brand?
HP.
Go to HP's support website for it.
Yeah.
Put in the serial number. See if there are updated drivers
Okay.
for the chipset
Okay.
for the USB ports.
Okay.
The other thing you can do is, I mean, it's scary to do it, is totally uninstall the USB ports
Yep.
and reboot the computer and let it pull in what it can new, and it might fix it.
Okay.
Or it just might be bad USB ports.
Yeah. Be odd that all 4 of them would be bad, and
Yeah, but
Extremely odd.
then it reads flash drives.
yeah, and it does read. It writes flash drives, and it supplies power to the external hard drive, but it just doesn't want to read.
External drive is a USB 3.
Pardon me?
Is it USB 3?
Yes.
How
Right.
big?
Are the
Okay.
flash drives USB 3?
Yes.
How big is the new drive?
Terabyte.
So it's not all that big.
It's standard. Yeah.
Did you look in disk management to see if the OS can see it at all?
Can. Yes.
It can see it there?
Yes. Oh, wait a minute. No, I'm sorry. It sees a flash drive, but it doesn't see the external hard drive. I'm sorry.
In disk management?
In disk management, it does not see it's as though it's not even there, but it is getting power. And I thought to myself, well, maybe it's a weak battery, because I called him back and I said, "Are you on battery or on AC?" And he says he's on AC. So I said, take the battery out and leave it on AC and see if it works. And still there's no change. I thought maybe a weak battery was causing it not to get enough power to do everything it needed to do. But
You said it would work on another computer?
works fine on his daughter's Windows 10 computer.
Take it over there and reformat it.
Okay.
Try that.
Okay.
By putting a fresh format on it and see if that helps.
Yeah, but I would still think even if it doesn't like the formatting, that in Disk Manager, it should see it as some kind of drive.
Yeah, it's something to do with the chipset or the drivers or for the USB ports.
Okay.
That's
All right.
Check and see if there's a BIOS update too.
Okay.
Even though it's only 3 years old, my wife's desktop is only about 3 or 4 years old, and I bet I've updated the BIOS at least a half a dozen times.
Okay. You get it, and you see improvements.
You know,
I mean-
it's all solid state, so it's hard to tell.
Okay. I mean, I've never done a BIOS update ever on any computer, because I've always heard you run that risk that you get a unusable computer if the BIOS fails and you can't, reflash it, etc. So I've just never have gone that route.
I did have one fail years ago that was an old Dell laptop. And I mean, it was old. It was all the way back to.
Paul, to your point, what some of the manufacturers have done is they actually have 2 BIOSes in there. And when you load the new one, it actually loads it into the one that's not being used. And if it loads successfully into that, then it flips it to use that one.
Okay.
So you don't run the risk of, if the download gets stopped or the power gets turned off and the BIOS doesn't flash right, you don't run the risk of having a boat anchor
Okay.
if it's that kind of setup.
Okay. All right.
That's usually on desktops, not laptops so much.
But Paul, if you're worried about, checking it all out, give me a call and you can bring it over and I'll see what I can do for him.
Okay. Another issue here.
No charge. I'm paying forward stuff.
Okay, appreciate it. Gentleman called me a couple weeks ago, and suddenly some of the keys on his keyboard are misrepresenting themselves. For example, if he hits the delete key, he gets a period. If he hits the backspace period, he gets a hyphen, etc. Now, the numeric and alphabetic keys do the right things, but some of the special keys do these weird things. And I've found other in some forums on the web, I found some people having this similar issues, but I've never really liked their I don't have any faith in some of the. I mean, one person said, "Well, just do a system restore and you're back in business." Well, that's not the answer necessarily. And I tried to see if the keyboard layout had changed, but I can't get on that machine. I can't get the keyboard layout option to display, so I can't go that route to see if I can find a German or French or maybe something switches from the American keyboard. I don't know. But anyway, so he gets these weird characters when he hits backspace, delete, home, and end.
Is it a laptop or a desktop?
Is a laptop. It's a Toshiba.
Okay.
Toshiba
Toshiba no longer,
Go ahead.
Toshiba no longer supports, but you can go to Toshiba's support website, and I would download the driver for the keyboard.
Okay.
It's keyboard and mouse controller.
Yep.
Download that, have it separate on a USB drive, and then go in and completely uninstall the old keyboard driver
Okay.
and reboot it, see what it finds. If it doesn't correct it, then try reinstall the keyboard software that you've downloaded.
Okay.
If that doesn't fix it, it might be the keyboard controller inside the laptop.
Okay. All right.
And I have had a few fail over the years, but not very many.
Okay.
It's rare.
Okay. And in fact, what's weird was I team viewed into his computer this afternoon in preparation for the meeting, and so I'm opening his email where he's had this problem, and I opened his Office word processor where he also had the same problem. When I type from my computer keyboard through TeamViewer to his computer, I can't reproduce any of this stuff. But when he types on his keyboard, and he's also got an old XP, maybe it was a Vista desktop, which he rarely uses, but that computer, he says, is doing the exact same thing. So he says he's got a gremlin in his network.
Well,
That's very strange.
I did try a
USB keyboard into the laptop?
Say again?
Can you plug a USB keyboard into the laptop and test that?
I hadn't thought about that.
Because if that works, then it probably is the keyboard controller in the laptop. If that does the same thing, then it's something in the OS.
Good point. I like that one. Okay.
Hmm.
Well,
And I've got software on a USB drive that will test for that.
okay.
But to run all the diagnostic tests on the laptop, it takes about 3 to 6 hours, depending on how big the hard drive is.
Okay.
But I pay about $300 a year for it.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow.
It's out of Europe. But it saves a lot of time.
Yeah, no doubt. You get your money back easily, I'm sure.
Okay, well,
Okay, good enough.
let's wrap this up and turn the meeting over to the Goulds and
Okay.
get